expended in Iraq, 4,400 Americans. We expended over $805 million in that effort. And whether you agree with that effort or not, we paid a very high price in Iraq. And here we are, we've liberated that country, and we've just been told by the people that we liberated that we've had our hats handed to us, and we have to get out of this country in less than 2 months. And the Iraqis have admitted it will take them 8 years before they can secure that country. They don't have counterintelligence facilities, they don't have the logistics, they don't have the ability to secure their borders in Iraq. Who is their neighbor? Iran. So leave it to islands, they always know. Iran. Iran, as Rick Santorum told you, seeks to have a nuclear weapon. This is why this is so important, because the president of Iran and the Ayatollah Khomeini have said that once they have a nuclear weapon, they will use it to wipe Israel off the face of the map. This is what President Obama has done in a disastrous way as our president on foreign policy. He, for the first president since Harry Truman, chose to put daylight between the United States and the greatest ally that we have, which is Israel. He failed to not only not stand with Israel, he exhibited hostility against Israel. I want you to know something. As Commander-in-Chief, and I see Commander-in-Chief as the #1 duty of the President of the United States. As Commander-in-Chief, I will stand with Israel. And I will... At the day of the election, the 26 hostile neighbors that surround Israel will know that the United States will stand with Israel. And I will not tolerate the nuclear Iran. Every option will be on the table to make sure that doesn't happen. Why? Because Iran has also stated they will use that nuclear weapon against the United States of America. They're a bad actor. Let me say just a few words about China. China also has been a bad actor. Not necessarily a great friend to the United States. They have been involved in commercial espionage for years, stealing American secrets from American companies. They've also been involved in hacking into United States computers at the government level as well. They've also been helping the Taliban, which we have been trying to fight in Afghanistan. They've also helped North Korea, which is the Walmart of missiles. They've been helping North Korea sell their wares and get them to Iran, and get them to Pakistan. You see, this is a bad actor. But you know, the problem is, we are in hot up to our eyeballs to China, and because we are in hot to them, we've lost our leverage to China. This is also where I will stand strong as President of the United States. I have very strong opinions about this. I'm privileged to serve on the House Intelligence Committee. We deal with the nation's classified secrets. We deal with the threats to the nation both within our borders and those that come to us externally. And what did we see happen? How bold is Iran that they would seek to carry out an international assassination in our nation's capital in Washington, D.C., in a public restaurant where they had no qualms about blowing up 200 innocent Americans. Do we have an issue on our hands? It's come to our shores. You see, that's the point. That was the flawed thinking with President Obama. Because when it comes to a failure in Iraq, the problem doesn't stay there. The problem comes to our shores when you have an emboldened Iran. These are serious issues. And a president doesn't just create short-term problems on foreign policy, he creates long-term problems on foreign policy. Remember Jimmy Carter? Remember how Jimmy Carter sat on his hands with the Shah of Iran? And when the Shah of Iran fell, we saw the rise of Ayatollah Khomeini. And when that happened, that was the rise of modern jihad. And we have never been the same since with the rise of modern jihad. Oh, what a difference a president makes when it comes to national security. That's why office, he reversed the Mexico City policy so that we are paying taxpayer-subsidized abortions overseas in the United States. The Hyde Amendment has been gutted. That kept us from paying for taxpayer-subsidized abortion. Now we do under Obamacare. Another reason to get rid of Obamacare. Same-sex marriage. We're seeing this president say that he will not uphold the Defense of Marriage Act. That's why, as President of the United States, I will stand behind not only the Defense of Marriage Act, we have to pass a federal marriage amendment as well. We have to have a president who's going to stand for our Second Amendment rights, and I do. I helped pass the concealed carry law up in my state of Minnesota right now, and I'm a concealed carry permit holder. I first learned my respect for guns here in Iowa. That's what my grandpa did. He gave each one of us a gun when we were little, and our parents were proud to have us receive it. I believe in the Second Amendment rights and maintaining those rights. I'm a strong constitutional conservative, and in 2012, we need one very tough hombre or hombreette to take on Barack Obama in this challenge. And just like the world needed a Ronald Reagan in 1980, they also needed a Margaret Thatcher in Britain. And together, working with the Pope, they were able to break down the Berlin Wall eventually, and also to end the Cold War. They had a vision because they had strength. I've told people that I have a titanium spine. I put my spine up against any candidate that's running in this race. Because one thing you can know about me, you won't find me on a YouTube. You won't find me not standing for life. You won't find me not standing for marriage. You won't find me making statements about our lack of support for the military. You won't find me not standing strong for fiscal policy. I have and I will. And I want you to know that that's what's important in this race, to make sure that we don't settle on a candidate who's any less than completely committed to our agenda. Because how many times have we voted for someone and put them in office and we're disappointed? Time and time again. We work for these people. We pound lawn signs. We make the phone calls. We send the emails. We donate the money. And they get in office. And time again, we're told, well, it just can't be done. Stand by the wall. Well, I plan to be different. Extremely different. And I have 5 years of a proven record standing strong as an outsider, fighting against Washington, D.C. I brought 40,000 Americans to Washington, D.C. to fight against Obamacare because I knew socialized medicine would destroy this country. And it will, but it's not right now. And that's why 2012 is it. This is it. This is the last election in my mind. That's why I'm running for president. This is it. Because this is the last exit ramp to the American dream. Why do I say that? Because Obamacare is the law of the land. And we have one chance, to dismantle it. And it's 2012. And I will tell you, there's no one more committed to destroying that bill. I am absolutely committed. It would be like taking a granite rock and pushing it up a hill. It's going to be so hard, and I'll tell you why. Crony capitalism. That's all that Washington, D.C. is. Paying off one political favor after another. That's Obamacare. One series of political favors after another that got paid off. It's going to be tough, but I'm committed. I'm committed to seeing it through, because we will never again be the United States of America that we grew up in, that I grew up in here in 1956 at Allen Memorial Hospital in Waterloo. The nation that I was born into, the state that I was born into, will never be it again. We don't get